Thank you, Victoria.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you. And here we go. Another amazing speaker we have today. And we already three speakers into the day and more to come. And until I'm going to invite, until the next speaker is going to come, I just want to kind of, I will say like this, give this kudos to everybody that was here. And I appreciate each of you. And I think everybody does an amazing job by being present here, by being here. So uh, thank you very much for everybody that has the patience and being here with us today. And I appreciate and one of you. And uh, Mr. Christian, please take over from here and feel free to um, um, take the stage.
Jump
And
on. Yeah.
okay.
Now, Peter, I mean, you said it right. The best thing we have to do is to actually be grateful for what we have, for the people they spend some time, because I know how important is to be here, but also to be present with your families, your business, and everything else. So I thought yesterday was a great day, but then today started, and I'm not saying just because I was one of the speakers today, but because the information that were coming on today from David, from Victoria, and from more people that are coming on, they are where they are. They will be amazing. So even if I know most of the people, well, I know all of them, but I think I know what they do and what they're going to say. It's always something comes out as a new thing, a new way of seeing things. So I want to say a big thank you for everyone. But our next speaker, I think, is going to be somebody. Well, I don't think I know. Is going to be a person who will bring even more value, because this person I know this person for more than 2 years now, I think. We know each other from different platforms, and I'm more than connected with Katie, because that's the person I'm looking to introduce. So Katie Shea is an amazing woman, a great lady, who is not just empowering other people, but very connected with how to empower other people. And Katie is, she's setting a new standard, and not just for herself, because she's a living proof and a living demonstration of the things that she believes in, but she's setting a new standard for how to authentically connect with people who are making an impact, and not just that, but making more money to have and create a life full of fulfillment. And we met, the first time we met was through Grant Cardone, where me and Katie were actually both partners of Grant Cardone. But also we went through the same journey following Richard Dolan, and we worked on that, and we're still working with Richard Dolan. But she's been coached not just by Grant Cardone and Richard Dolan, but also by Tony Robbins, and it's all the other people that she's learned, and she provided that value. Her leadership comes from research, but most important from experience in performance psychology, in sales. And I know Katie, she's a speaker, that's for sure, because when she comes in, the everything it's lighting up, and you can see that she believes in the things that she does. And she's a trainer, a coach, a mentor, a good friend of mine, like I said, and also an advisor. And you can see all these great things because the clients are saying it every day. She has amazing clients. There are people that are following Katie for a reason. I'm one of the followers, and like I said, I mentioned earlier during my presentation that I love social media, because I would love to be as funny or even close to create those reels and Instagram posts, but it's something, you're good at something or you're bad. And I'm one of those people, I'm bad on that. But Katie, she's smashing those reels and all these posts on Instagram and everything else. But why is Katie doing all these great things? Because she wants to make sure that she's helping everybody, from people getting started to top leaders to become billionaires, grow their businesses. And she helped all these people to transform their lives with sales, leadership, money, and personal growth, because she found and she knows the way on how to get to those great results that everybody were looking for. So guys, without any further ado, I like to introduce you Katie Shea. Katie Shea, take it away.
Wow, what an introduction. That was awesome. Hi everybody. It's so good to see everybody from Kelvin, Tabitha, Pei. I see all of you, and now I just went to the main speaker. Hold on, I'm going back to gallery because I want to see all of you. I see Joanne, Betty. Thank you guys so much for being here. It shows your commitment to yourself for just showing up here. What is it? Saturday at almost 1 o'clock, and you guys are all sitting here on a Zoom call. Okay, so that's really freaking cool. But Christian, thank you so much. Yeah, we've gone through some extensive training together, but if you don't know who I am, you're probably like, who the heck is this Katie Shea girl sitting here on the Zoom call right now? Like, who is this girl? All right, so let me give you kind of a background of Katie Shea and why I'm sitting here with you guys on a Saturday in a hotel room, by the way, in Florida. I'm from Chicago, but I'm in Florida right now, and I'm committed to being here with you guys. So I'm going to give you kind of the backstory on Katie Shea and why I'm here. And I see Thomas in here. But here's the thing. Okay. I want you guys to write into the chat, because I like to jump on Zoom calls and you guys could sit here and listen to me the whole time, but that's just not how I roll. I want this to be an interactive call. I don't want this to be just listen to Katie Shea talk and then take something, get motivated and leave. Right? So what I want you guys to do, have you guys ever been like rejected before? Like in sales, in business? Write a 1 into the chat if you've ever gotten rejected. Tabitha goes 1. Cool. 1, Craig goes. So we've all been rejected before, am I right? 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. I love it. Rejected 50 million times. I just got rejected last week. It was awesome. Okay, but here's the thing. When I first started off in sales, I started in a roofing sheet metal company. Okay. It was tough. And so my dad calls me up one day, because he owns a sheet metal company. He calls me up one day. He goes, Katie, I want you to come work for me as a salesperson. And I was like, Dad, there's no way in heck I am going to come work for you as a salesperson. I went to college. I got a degree. I'll never be in sales. Not going to happen. He said, Katie, you got to come work for me. So I hung up the phone. I'm like, there's no way. I rejected my dad. He calls me back. He goes, you need to work with me in sales. You crush it. So now I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna just do it. I knew nothing about sales, by the way. So I get there and my dad goes, Katie, all you need to do is use your personality to sell. I mean, come on. All of us know that just being nice doesn't really get you the sale. Am I right? So here's the thing. So I'm in my car because it's outside sales and I'm going door knocking. And I didn't know nothing about sales. My dad says, use your personality to sell. So I'm on my way to the first roofing company that I have to go to, that I have to approach. And I drive up to this building. It's a brick building. And I have my business cards next to me. I had everything that, like, I was ready to go. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. That should have been my first clue, by the way. That was 8 o'clock in the morning. People weren't happy yet. And I get my stuff. I pull up to the building. And all of a sudden, I'm super excited. And I open up the door to that first roofing company. And there's this man and woman sitting there. And the man and the woman turn and look at me at the same time. And I say, hi, my name is Katie, and I'm here to sell you sheet metal, being nice. The lady grabs the stuff out of my hands, doesn't say anything to me, by the way, and points to the door. That was like an internal rejection that I've never even gotten before from anybody else. And I've been in sales for a very long time. That was my first rejection. And I hand her the stuff. I walk out of the door and I'm like, dang, this is hard. This is not easy. What was my dad talking about? So I get back in my car and I have like 20 more companies to go to. I'm like, how the heck am I going to freaking get through this shit? Like, seriously, how the heck am I going to do this? So I type it into my phone GPS and I head on to the next destination and I pull up there and I get there. I see the building. I see the woman in the front desk, you know, shuffling papers, and I grab my stuff and I go to open up my car and my hands start getting all sweaty, right? My heart started beating really fast. Like, I think I blacked out in that moment because I was so terrified of the rejection. And I close the door. I put my stuff down. I turned my car back on and I drove away. And I did that for weeks. My dad has no idea that I did this, by the way. So we're just going to keep it in a shush. But I did that for weeks. I would drive to roofing companies just to look at the buildings, to drive away, because I was terrified of this thing called rejection. Right? So you guys put some 1 in the chat. So we've all been rejected before. But here's the decision that I had to make. And this is why I'm on this call with you. The decision I had to make was, it was either the fear of rejection. Yeah, I hid in the bathrooms. I love that. The fear of rejection was going to own me, or I was going to start owning it. So I came across this guy called Grant Cardone. Weird. You guys know who Grant Cardone is, right? This big guy, like, I typed in, how do you sell? And Grant Cardone goes, bam, on YouTube, right in front of your face. I'm like, who the heck is this guy? But I immersed myself in Grant's world. And that's when my sales journey began. And then I became partners with Grant Cardone. I met Richard Dolan. Him and I became partners. We started Rich Ladies Movement, where we train 100 women. We're in the middle of it right now, and I love it. He's my partner in everything that we're doing. But I'm here in front of you guys today saying the dedication and the decision to be great is what shifts things in your life. Right? So I want to give you guys something. I'm not here to motivate you, by the way. Motivation only lasts this long. You're going to get off the call. You're going to get off all these calls motivated, ready to go. But have you ever been to a conference? You're so freaking pumped up. You're ready to go. Then you get home and you go back to reality. You know, Craig's like, yep, I know what that is. So here's the thing. Whether you own a business, okay, you're an entrepreneur, you don't own a business, but if you're a human, this is going to be impactful for you. And we're all humans here, am I right? That's the way I roll. I don't just talk to business owners. I talk to people, because we all lead with emotions and we all have blocks in our lives that stop us from the results that we want to get. Right? So I want to give you guys something. I want to give you something that I had to work on, because I went and I trained so hard. I worked with Grant's guys every single day, and I got so good at sales. I was doing things. I closed $1 million that year without even knowing anything, by the way. Right? But I trained and I immersed myself into that world. But here's the thing. I still was running into a wall and not getting the results I wanted. Show us your magic touch. I'm gonna show you. And that's when the work with Richie began, because we all set goals. But have you guys ever noticed you setting goals and it becomes a chore? Calvin's like, yep, I've done that. I know exactly what you're talking about. Tabitha's like, yep. We set goals, but they become a chore. Why? I remember one time I was on the call with, was it Dave Robards? Because him and I got really close to Dave Robards, because he just like trained me, and I role play with him every single day. And one day I said, Dave Robards, I'm writing down my goals twice a day, but it's not really like doing anything for me, because like I just feel like it's a chore. Like, why the heck is this happening? And what I came to realize was we write down goals every day, but we're stuck with things that we're unaware of. Now, let me elaborate on that a little bit more. And Christian, you know this, right? We write down goals like, I want to become a millionaire. It's a great goal. It's a great goal. But what's the meaning behind that? Tell me the meaning behind the millionaire. Because without emotion, we don't move. We don't drive. right? So I'm going to give you guys something really quick. And this is something that, you know, when I started my coaching business, by the way, I went in and taught people how to handle objections and, you know, close deals and do all the things. But I'm like, what the heck? Why aren't people taking action? Why aren't we doing this? And I was even looking at myself. Why am I not taking the action, massive action, this whole big thing? But here's the deal. We all have the potential, am I right? Every single one of us has potential. Number two, you know the goal you're after, or maybe you don't, and that's okay, but then you just have to say, what do I want? Number three, you take action. But number four, you either get a positive result or a negative result. When you get that negative result, guess what it does? It confirms to your subconscious mind that you should probably play small. And so we become planners. We have a goal, but we keep on reversing back to this. Stuck. So I've trained a lot of people in like MLM companies, and you know, I've trained hundreds of people in different companies like that. And it always came to be, Katie, I want to be financially free. But it was an idea and a hope rather than something that they can move towards. So we all have the potential. I'm going to go over this one more time with you. We all have potential. We go out there and we know what we want. We take an action. We get a positive result. Guess what that does? It reconfirms that we're up to something. It's like, damn, you did that. All right, do that again. It felt good. Let's keep on doing that. So we keep on moving and we keep on doing it. But once you get that negative result, you know what you need to fall back on? You got to fall back on what you want, but not even just what you want. If you're telling me I want to be a millionaire, I want to know what the heck that means. And I want to give you something more impactful, that when you're writing down your goals or something that's going to help you, like, just like be like, okay, if I'm in alignment with myself every single day, it's not just writing down your goals, but I want to be a millionaire, but it's asking yourself, who do I want to become? Right? Who do I want to become? Now, if it's an impactful leader and you're sitting there not making that cold call, are you in alignment with that? No. Peter's like, nope. No, you're not. So every single day, you want to ask yourself, who do I want to become today? Is it the person that's terrified and scared shitless? Or if it's that millionaire, what actions are the millionaires taking? It's not just, I want to be a millionaire. That doesn't move the needle in our lives. Right? It's the emotion that drives us. And that was one of the biggest things that I was lacking for so long. And I didn't understand that. Because I was like, take massive freaking action, Katie Shea. Go, take action, do the things, drive, let's go. But I kept on running to a freaking wall. I was like, what the heck? I was good at sales. I was closing deals. I was doing things, but I wasn't fulfilled. Because I was always focused on the millionaire, but I was never focused on what that actually meant. Right? But here's another key to it. And this is from Richie, because I've worked very closely with him. We all try to stack other things on top of the things that we haven't acknowledged. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, Christian, you know this very well. We try to stack things on things that we haven't acknowledged, meaning you're scared shitless? Well, you got to figure out why. None of us want to open up the can. to all the things. Because subconsciously, our past runs us, or things, experiences and things like that run the show without you even knowing it. So you're not consistent with that person that you want to become, because subconsciously you're not aware of what is running the show. Well, it's like, well, shit, Katie, how do I figure that out? Okay, thanks for that, but how the heck do I figure that one out? What's running the show? I'm going to tell you something that Richie did to me, because Richie is a very big, he's really developed, like Christian, me, like he's developed us into, really solid, coaches in a way, because of the work that we've done on ourselves. I don't speak from experiences that I haven't gone through. Are we cool with that? Give me a thumbs up. Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. Okay. I remember Richie and Christian, you were on this call, I think. He talks about these keepers, and Christian, I think he might have talked about it, but he always talks about these keepers saying, hey, ego, fear, and judgment will always hold you back. Ego, fear, and judgment. And he's a performance coach. He coaches Mike Tyson, right? Like the NBA, a lot of really cool people, but these three things in our human psychology will always hold us back. Ego, judgment, and fear. Ego of like, I got that. I'm too good for that. And by the way, that got me last week. I realized that. Right? Fear of, oh my gosh, I don't want to be found out that I haven't even gotten the results yet, or I don't want to be like the failure, or, the fear of like not even getting it all right. Or judgment of other people. What the heck, what are they going to think if I do this? We all have them running the show, whether you like it or not. And if, by the way, if you're like, I don't have any of those, guess which one is yours? Ego. Right? So we all have something running the show. It's just distinguishing what it is. And so Richie told me, he said, Katie, I want you to take self-note of your self-talk for 24 hours straight. And I was like, whatever. Okay, I got it. I'll do it. Sounds good. The self-talk, the things that you say to yourself. I said, okay, I got it. So I'm gonna take note of my self-talk for 24 hours straight. That's fine. I'll do it, Richie. Sounds good. Whatever. So I did it. He says, tomorrow I want you to jump on a phone call with me, and I want you to tell me which thing is holding you back. I said, okay. So I did it, right? I went to go post on Instagram, or I would do something. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it is judgment. It's so judgment. It's not even funny. It's judgment. I know it, because every time I would go post on Instagram, I'd be like, what the heck are these people going to think of me? Should I delete that? Should I post and delete it? Nah, don't delete it, Kate, because you're committed. Just don't do it. And I would keep it up. But in the background, I'm like, holy shit, what the heck? So I got on the call with Richie the next day, and I go, hey, I know exactly what it is. We're sitting on a Zoom call like this. I go, it's judgment. And he's like, he looks at me across, and he goes, Katie, I've known you for 3 years at this point. You really think it's judgment? And I was like, yeah, it's judgment, Richie. Like I would post something on Instagram. I would get terrified. I would want to delete it. He's like, do you really care what people think about you? And I was like, guess not, actually. I was kind of like the weirdo in college, or like high school, that would like put water bottles in her hair, and like, put things up. And I was a weirdo. I didn't really give a shit. Right? I didn't care. So I'm like, you're right. It's not judgment. I go, so you're telling me I have an ego? Is that what you're telling me? I was like, Rich, if I have an ego, like just let me know. I'll correct it. I'll fix it. I'll figure this thing out. He goes, no, it's not. It's not an ego. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, shit. So you're telling me it's fear? You're telling me fear runs me? Like every time like I set a goal or do something, you're telling me fear runs the show? I was like, no freaking way. I was like, I'll tell you why fear doesn't run the show. When I first started working with my dad, I was door knocking. I knew nothing about sales, and I just figured it out anyway. He goes, but what ended up happening for 2 weeks? You drove away, right? And I was like, well, yeah, but I figured it out. He goes, but that's exactly my point. He's like, you drove away and couldn't confront the rejection for 2 weeks. So fear was running the show. Now there's something in everybody here, our psychology, that is holding us back from the results that we want in our lives. But without awareness, there's no control. Without control, there's no intentional action. And that's what I want to leave you with. Take massive action every single day. Go ahead. But have you ever taken massive action and hit a wall? Or seen everything else around you fall apart? Like your relationships, maybe like your health. But you're freaking working your ass off. But everything else is falling apart. You're like, what the heck is going on here? It's not intentional. There's a difference between massive action and intentional action. Intentional action means that you know it's there, own it, take responsibility for it. You know what you want. You know why the heck you want it. If the why is missing, if the reasons aren't there, that's the first thing that's going to hold you back. One of the first things. You got to know freaking why, man. What's the reasons? Tell me the reasons. You want to become a millionaire? Cool. Why? Why does that matter to you? Well, Katie, I want to become a millionaire so I could create time freedom for myself. That's awesome. That's awesome. But tell me why that matters to you. Well, you know, I want more time to travel. Cool. Why? If you're not going deep with yourself, if you're not feeling it, you haven't hit it. Right? So to take intentional action means that you know fully what you're up to and you're owning yourself fully and being okay with it. It's not just setting goals. Not just saying, hey, I'm going to do this. Now I could have jumped on here and I could have just told you guys how to handle objections, but that doesn't matter. All right. Agree. Right? We all know this. That doesn't freaking matter. What matters is you moving the needle in your life in an intentional, impactful way. That's what I'm about. I'm about performance. Getting you to the result and getting you to the source of the result. Now, most of us won't do that because it's too uncomfortable to look inward. It's like, holy shit, I'll just keep on setting goals and working my ass off and making those cold calls. But how do you do that without even distinguishing what's already there? Right? So I think, Christian, Peter, how much am I? And I'm in here until what, 1:30?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Does anybody have any questions really quick? Because I could keep on talking, but and I will. I'll talk all day, by the way. I'm Italian. That's just how I roll. All right, Tabitha.
I'm wondering, how do you know how deep to go when you keep, so funny that you keep using the example, I want to be a millionaire, because I create millionaires. I'm in finance, and I'm wondering how, and I ask that question all the time. Why do you want to become a millionaire?
Yep.
I'm wondering, how do you know when you've gotten to the real reason, you know, to keep asking why? How do you know when you've gotten the, you know, it's like someone who says that they want to lose weight.
Yes.
Right? How do you know when you got to the real reason why they want to lose, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No. Okay. So just to make sure that I'm hearing it right. So you're saying like when you're speaking to like your clients. Am I right? Okay,
Yes.
Cool. Okay, that's an awesome question, by the way. So this is one of the things I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a layout of like how I do a lot of my sales calls or like how I talk to people. I'm going to give you a couple of key questions. Would that be impactful for you guys? Give me like a thumbs up if that's, and I know you're like, Katie, we're not in like second grade here, but that's just how I roll. Okay. Okay. So when you're getting on calls with people and you ask them, they say, hey, I want to be a millionaire. Like one of the biggest questions I ask first is like, hey, like if they're saying I want to become a millionaire, what does your life look like 6, 12 months from now? Give me in the short term. Right? And Tabitha, this is going to play into what you're talking about, but that's the first question I always ask people. No limitations. Just give me your life, ideal life, go. Well, I want to become a millionaire. Cool. That's awesome that you want to become a millionaire. I love that. Super cool. Why? Why does that matter to you? Right? So now we're going to start. I'm going to give you some questions that you could ask. They're going to say, well, like actually Tabitha, come off me really quick and tell me like something that somebody would say.
In my ideal life, I don't have to worry about money anymore.
Ooh, okay, cool. So if you don't have to worry about money anymore, tell me why that matters to you.
I'm tired of being stressed out about money, living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, I totally get that. So you living paycheck to paycheck, tell me why that matters to you.
I never know from week to week if I'm going to have enough to pay my bills. So I don't want to worry about that. I don't want to worry about if I have enough money to, take my family out to dinner if I don't feel like cooking.
So if I'm hearing you right, you're saying that like you just want a lot of time freedom for yourself to do what you want when you want on your own time. And the money is going to get you there.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So now here's the thing. Okay. Because she just like what you just told me was I listened to it and I heard it in a way of you wanting to have this freedom of having your own space, having your own time. So when I'm listening for you, and I could tell me if I'm wrong, by the way, but when I'm listening to you, that's what I'm hearing. Like when you said like, hey, I don't want to make food for the kids and I want to do this and I want to do that. It's like, ooh, maybe you're stressed out because you're a working mom and you have a lot of freaking things going on.
Yeah, usually my clients are saying that, especially in today's environment, usually they're saying stuff like, there's just not enough money to go around. So my ideal life would be, I have enough money to go around, pay the bills that we have and have extra. It's more about the have extra, because right now we can't go out to eat because there's not enough money for us to go out to eat. And I would like to, this is what I hear a lot. I'd like to give my family what I didn't get growing up.
Okay, so what did you not get growing up?
We didn't go out to eat.
How did that impact your life?
Everybody else was going out to eat, but we never did.
So if I'm hearing you right, as a little kid, as a little girl, not growing out to eat and looking at other kids that got to go out to eat all the time, what did that really mean for you?
It means I was not like everybody else and I didn't fit in.
So you're telling me that you want to make more money in your life so your kids never have to feel that way.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. That was really powerful.
You see where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
It's hitting the chord.
Yeah. Then you've gotten there.
Yeah. You hit the chord. And I'll give you a couple more key questions that you can ask. After you hit the chord and you say, hey, tell me what your ideal life looks like. You got it. They want to be financially free. They want to be here. They want to have more time. They want to be doing this, that. Okay, cool. What's prevented you from getting there? Tell me what's prevented you from getting there, because they start to take mental ownership of themselves. Because most of the time it's us. Am I right, guys?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That my client would probably say, I just made poor decisions with my money.
Poor decisions with your money. Okay. Why else?
Bought a car when I didn't really need one, but I wanted one.
Hmm. So let me ask you a question then, Tabitha. Like this is what I would say to your client. Okay. You want this. You want X, right?
Mhm.
Okay. But the one thing that's prevented you was maybe poor financial decisions in the past. So if I were to, let's just say hypothetically, okay? If you stayed exactly where you are today, nothing changed. We fast forward 10 years from now. Nothing's changed in your life. And you go and you look at yourself in the mirror, what would you say?
Shame on you,
Why?
because I had the ability to change it and I didn't.
Okay, so are you okay with that?
No.
Okay, awesome. See, it's bringing people to visualize their future so big, because when people could visualize their futures, we start to believe it. It becomes real for them. But then I'm going to shift them right back to where they are.
What I loved what you did was you made me take responsibility. You didn't say, if I could show you how to change that,
No.
would you want to change it? You said, you made me take responsibility for it. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Of course. The way that I approach sales is as a coach. Because this is the thing, I'm impacting people and bringing them to the reality of where they are, where they want to be. And it's up to them to make that decision. I'm just the one influencing them to do it. And that right there, like I have, have you guys ever had clients that like don't take action? They get so excited and then they just don't do shit. It's because they're not emotionally hit. And sometimes it just takes recentering that. So was that helpful?
Very, thank you.
Of course.
Powerful.
Of course, of course. Does anybody else have any other questions? Cool. Yeah.
I have a question, if you don't mind. Ooh, we have a mic here.
Oh,
But
yeah.
anyhow, yeah, it's a lot of fun. So, except the fact that was wondering if you want to move to Florida from Chicago, because that's a good thing to do. But anyhow, except that question, like, well, all the goodies are here, so why not? Like
This is
in
true.
Chicago, I've been living in
You're not
Chicago.
wrong.
I've been
Hey,
living
she
in
doesn't
Chicago.
know it yet, but she's coming.
Yeah, I've been living in Chicago. I've been living in the O'Hara area near the airport.
yeah.
So yeah,
I'm
I'm
in
familiar with
Michigan,
it.
Katie.
Oh, nice.
So neighbors.
We are neighbors.
Yes. So I was wondering, like from your perspective, like if you have this analysis paralysis kind of, I would say mindset, what is gonna be the next thing that you have to be? Because we talk about those three, the ego, the judgment, and the fear. Yeah. So now we already know about these elements, but on the same time, you have this, because I know a lot of people and I'm working with a lot of myself. Sometimes I'm finding that, I will say, niche of trying to figure out too much about what's going on without the movies, like like I need to understand, like, and you had the same thing, yeah, because that's how you get in front of Richie, yeah. You literally like get to that point that we're like, okay, which one it is, and now you went to your coach, you try to figure out. And I was wondering, like, what is going to be the steps that we're going to acknowledge that thing, we're going to figure out that yes, it is one of them, in the meaning that we are like, we are always trying to be like, okay, it cannot be, or like you said, that you had that dialogue with yourself, yeah, it cannot be that one, it cannot be this one, yeah. So you wanted to push it towards Richie, to kind of get the answer. But I was wondering, what is going to be that signal when it's time for you to be like, you know what, let me go to find out, let me find out what is going to be that specific timeline in your life, and you're going to be like, I need to
That's
find
it. That's the whole thing. Okay, so the keepers are formed, and Richie, if he's watching this, he might be like, nope, Katie is not formed between this time and this time. So don't correct me. I might be completely wrong with this, but it's formed between the ages of 5 and 15. Okay, experiences and things in our lives happen between those times. So when he told me, he said, Katie, fear is running the show. There was something deeper than me just getting rejected. I had to open up the can so deep. And I said, what the heck? I've never done this before. This is like therapy, man. Like, you want me to go so deep in my past? Okay, fine. I'll figure this out. So I did. And on that Zoom call with him, when I was talking to him, he said, well, what do you think it is? He said, if the keepers are formed between those times in your lives, what the heck do you think it is? And I sat back. I said, shit, hold on. I think I know what it is, Rich. I said, I was the kid in like middle school. I moved from like one city to another city. And I was like this new kid that was like trying to fit in with everybody, wearing Abercrombie and Fitch, right? Like it said Abercrombie with the moose or whatever the heck it was. And I was just trying to fit in. And I was like in 6th grade, and the bell would go off, and I would be the first kid in the hallway. And you guys want to know why that is? 6th grade, I got put into like a learning disability class or whatever. But psychologically, those experiences back then as a kid just trying to fit in, it didn't connect. And so every moment, every decision that I made in my adult world was living as that kid still. I would meet successful people and I would be like, whoop, nope, retract, go away, because you don't deserve this, Katie. You're the kid with learning disability, go away. Right? Or every time that I would go and do something new, like drive up to, get rejected, I was like, oh, yep, nope, that looks familiar. I'm gonna avoid that. So I know what that sounds like for Peter, like for you, it's just like when Richie had me take note of my self-talk, I looked at what were the words I was saying, what was the type of things I was saying, and how was I saying it? And then I had to go back in reverse between the ages of 5 and 15 and say, where does this come from? And then I had to acknowledge it. Once I acknowledged it, I started freaking owning that shit. I said, yeah, growth, learning disability, what's up? How's it going?
So it's back to our past, no matter what we do.
100%. Our past runs our life without acknowledgement.
Yep. I think it's at the end of the day, it's always have to do with the way we live before and the way that we show up and the way that everything is going. It has everything. I always put this analogy. We are like a stone that is chopped with time, in sculpture with time, So whatever time in life, we are that image that it was sculptured by time, and we have to, redefine ourselves. Mr. Kevin here has another question, and Kevin, please feel free to ask the question.
Okay, am I unmuted there?
You're muted.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Awesome. Well, hi, Katie.
Hi.
I am enjoying this so much. Thanks for sharing with us today. I was wondering, I really found this interesting on fear, ego, and judgment. One of the things that I know is really holding me back, and I'll take full responsibility for it, and I don't know if this would play into one of these or not, but it probably does, is I have a great coach. I'm making good, how would you say, good progress, but I'm standing in the way of my own progress because I'm very undisciplined. Like, she gives me so much homework, and this would go clear back to like my school days. I don't want nobody telling me what to do. I hate schoolwork. I hate being in front of the computer. So it's kind of like an engram or something from just the way I've always been. Like, I know this would help me to do all this, and I do like part of it, but like if there's mornings I wake up and I don't feel like doing certain ones of my morning modalities, it's easy for me to like not do them. And then when we get to our coaching call, because we do 2 Zooms a week, and she's amazing. I think some people on here would know who she is. And it's like, I feel so guilty. I feel so bad. you know, like about myself, because I haven't met her expectation of me. And I
Mm.
want to be honest with her because I respect her. So I wondered if you could just, if you want to, if you could quit, because I don't know which one of these is driving me. I wonder, like, if we could play that into the fear, ego, and judgment, which one's driving me, or if there's anything. I'd like to find out, because I don't know which one of those is driving me. I've never thought of that before. Or also if there's anything you could do to have like a shift in my mind where, yeah, I don't know what else to do other than just extreme discipline, holding myself accountable. And I've tried that. Even that doesn't seem to get me. You follow my question?
I'm totally following.
So disappointed in myself because I know these things will help me, and I'm paying a lot of money for the coach, and it's a coach I know is very, very good, very high level performance coach that I respect very much. And yet it's just like, well, our mind will make up some excuse. I just say, I listen to a lower self of laziness.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't want somebody telling me what to do, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
take it from there.
100%. So that's awesome, by the way. And I know I'm a couple minutes over. Peter, is that fine? I'm a couple minutes. I'll cram it really fast. Okay. So here's the thing. With that, like you hit a couple words, and I took note of it, was expectations. So my question goes to, who had really high expectations of you growing up?
Who did? I'm sure my dad did. My dad was we had a good relationship. He had high expectations of me. I'm sure my teacher did. In third and fourth grade, I had the best teacher ever. I know she had high expectations for me. My mother, obviously, I'm sure she did.
So we tend to self-sabotage, and I want to give this to you like really fast, because I know we have, you know, other speakers coming in, but we tend to try to live up to other people's expectations. And so the self-discipline and all that stuff, it's kind of all bullshit at the end of the day. I'm like, people might be like, yeah, Katie, whatever, but it kind of is kind of bullshit. And I'll tell you why. Because every single day, and I know Vanessa's like, I know, yeah, Katie, you're right. Because every single day we try to live up to like these standards and all these things of other people, right? And get in communities where it's like, everybody's like crushing it, but everybody's really like just trying to figure this shit out. Right. So for you, it's like the discipline, everything. It's like trying to live up to a standard or trying to live up to an expectation, but you're not even living up to your own expectations, right?
Right.
And so I would tell you with that is trying to understand. Now we would have to have a deeper conversation, to be honest with you, but like if it was judgment, like, do you really care about what people think about you?
Not really. Don't really give a shit too much, except for some of my real close friends or close business partners. For them, I do.
Okay, so
But everybody else, it's like, yeah.
You hit something. Okay, it's people that are close to you that have expectations of you.
Mhm.
So it's the fear of not looking good enough for them, but you haven't lived for yourself yet. Stop trying to prove to everybody. Okay, and I'm just being on, like, just straight with you. I think
I
that
like
you,
that.
right? Don't prove to everybody that you got it all together.
Yeah, because I don't.
And that's fine. That's fine. I don't have it all together.
Mhm.
Right? But I'm committed to myself every single day, to
Mhm.
showing up to my expectations.
Yeah,
And being 1% better every day. You don't have to have it all figured out.
right. Little small incremental changes every day. But I've diagnosed it time and time again. Thank you so much for that. But it's discipline. I mean, like, I'm just being raw with you. I'm an undisciplined person. And I kind of like it that way. I mean, but I don't like it that way. You get it? Like, for myself, like I told you, I don't like people telling me what to do and having this regimen. And I know we don't have to be perfect, but I know these things she's given me to do would take me to a higher level. So, like, what do you find, or people that you've coached that have this problem? How can I really shift that discipline and
Mm.
take things more seriously. I guess I just like to roll with the
I
flow,
don't-
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, number one, that's a belief, right? So it's so ingrained. It's a belief. But number two is that having these little things to do, I would say it's a fear. Like it goes back to it, right? It's a fear of not maybe being good enough. So you don't put yourself in those situations. So you're not disciplined.
Mhm.
It's just the fear is controlling you 99% of the time.
Take a deeper look at that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Thank you. All right. I know that I am time is up. I'm 6 minutes over. Anything else, Peter?
How people they can reach you if they want to reach you. That's the most important part.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put like I have like it's called the impact guide because I'm very into impact and like helping people have impactful conversations like this, like how we all sat there. Like I'm not a bullshit kind of a person, right? It's like how the heck do you do that with others? Because I think that and I think Richie said this. He said the world has a lot of knowledge in it, but there's this world that we live in today is starving for leadership. Being a leader within you and being a leader within others. And so I created this thing called the impact guide. And, you know, you guys being in Grant Cardone's world, there's a lot of like how to handle objections and all that stuff in there, but it's also of how to, you know, have impactful conversations. So if you guys want, you could download it. I know, Thomas, you're on my list. You got it. I saw you on there. So, but that's the way. Oh, and my Instagram. I'll put that in there too.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you guys.
You've been so great. We're looking forward to hear more from you and, you know, like see how well we can serve you as well and be there at your help. And we appreciate every single word that you've been saying to us, the knowledge, the wisdom that you share with us. And stay here too. We're going to have another speaker coming up that she's going to teach us how to get more money to be able to impact more people. So let's hear from that.
Thank you so much. I think Vanessa, I think you're speaking, right? So I do have to run because I'm in Florida with my boyfriend's parents. But good, you're gonna do absolutely amazing. Guys, thank you so much again. This was such an awesome time being on here with you. And I hope to be connected with you guys soon. So Vanessa, the stage is yours.